Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Anna Thomason and this is Peach Soda F2F. So as promised, I'm showing you guys my vintage finds from my recent trip to Japan. I went with some family members, but I made sure to look up places because I knew I was going to do some shopping. So I'll go through each of these pieces individually with you and I'll tell you exactly where I got them. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so for a little bit of context, I'm going to be wearing this skirt in a lot of my outfits just because the tops change but the bottoms don't need to change. This is a Issey Miyake Pleats Please skirt, clearly just in the color black, very basic in my closet and I wear it all the time. So we are actually going to begin with the top, and this is a Christian Dior top, tank top. It's actually quite sheer and I'm sure this lighting might make that evident, but it's very comfortable, very breathable, and I've already worn this to maybe 3 outings and I love it. So I bought this one at Vintage QOO and this was in Harajuku, Tokyo. So this place was super nice, guys. There was a queue to get inside the store. It took me maybe 30 minutes to get inside, but once you are inside, they have only about 5 attendants and they are very helpful. I even showed them my Pinterest board and they actually pulled this out for me because I wanted clean, crisp lines, and I did show them I wanted more muted colors like white tones, black, and I did look for silk, but unfortunately they didn't have that. So I would say I'm quite pleased with this piece, but I can't wait to show you guys the others because this store in particular was amazing. Okay guys, here's the next piece. I just realized that I actually bought 2 Dior pieces from this place, but this one in particular I saw hanging on the wall and they were so kind to get it down for me because it was a little bit of a hassle. It was pretty high up, but this is adorable. I believe it's embellished with maybe like Swarovski crystals of some sort. It's a very nice, I would say, baby girl tee, and the details are adorable. As you can tell, it's definitely very fragile. Unfortunately, I did run it in the wash, or actually, I just kind of shouldn't have left it in the bongo, but we already have a little bit of damage here from the Dior metal embellishment, but I can sew, so I will be fixing that immediately. I want you guys to see the details a little bit more. And there's, of course, the one down here. It's a very cute, also very breathable, but kind of light and maybe a little bit see-through shirt, so always take that into consideration when buying. But I would say both of these Dior pieces that I bought at Vintage QOO were discounted around $200 because of the conversion rate, and that's why I really think it is great to vintage shop in Japan, and right now it's amazing. The store attendants were so kind, and even though they didn't speak that much English, they looked at my pictures and I was able to use Google Translate to communicate with them. I had maybe 3 people assisting me at one point, and because I was also, buying clothes, they let me use their dressing rooms, which were so cute, and I will attach a picture right here. But I would say that this store in particular was more known for their bags. There was so many bags, so if you guys are a vintage bag shopper, you guys should take a look there as well, and it's definitely worth it. I looked at some of the prices, they're amazing. The only thing is I've already found my dream bag, which I can actually show you right now. This is my daily bag. It is a vintage Miu Miu. Sorry, it's upside down, but I bought this also from a Japanese seller, but online when I first got my first ever work paycheck. But this is my dream bag, so I honestly haven't made the decision to ever buy another bag. That's kind of my philosophy. If you have something that's not broken, don't get another one. And this is how I save money, even though I buy this expensive stuff. So I will show you guys another piece from a different store now because I actually went around and explored a lot. So let's get onto it. Sorry, real quick, I'm actually popping in one more time because I wanted to say I saw this shirt, and the reason why I mainly bought it is because it reminds me of the Chanel Formula 1 shirts, those really nice hand-beaded shirts. I'll attach a picture here as well. Those are like my dream shirts, and I need to get them one day. I just think that they're going to be insanely expensive, especially because Formula 1 is becoming more popular. Talking about that, if you guys are getting into Formula 1, you really should watch Drive to Survive. I made my dad watch it with me because it was so fun. So that's a little side tangent for you guys. This next one is another one of my favorite pieces. I have also already worn this a multiple amount of times, maybe like 5 times while I was in Japan and then a few times back in America already, so you can tell this is something that I'm going to be living in. And right now I am wearing Issey Miyake on top of Issey Miyake. I bought this at the Brand Collect in Harajuku, Tokyo. It's right on the, I forgot the busy street. I don't know why I'm blanking on the name, but I will attach the name right here. Oh, my cat's walking around. But it's super small store. You have to walk in through a narrow entrance and then go up to the 2nd floor. Inside the store, there's a ton of bags as normal with vintage shopping, but they had a really good selection of Issey Miyake pieces specifically. And I was searching through them. I was looking for a dress, but when I saw this piece, I just had to have it. And it's so sculpted to my body, as you can see. The pleating is amazing. This is what they're known for. I'm not sure which collection this is from, but you know what? I'm going to reverse search it and I will attach that information here too, because I think this is a piece maybe a lot of people would like to have. This one was maybe around, it was pretty good discounted. I think if I remember correctly, it was around $400 discounted because it was already like kind of fresh. I think a lot of people had gotten it recently, something like that. The attendant working there did speak a pretty good amount of English, but I went with my dad, and my dad spoke mostly Japanese with him, so he gave us a little bit of information about it. It had just come into the store, and it's pretty hot for both males and females, so, you know, I'm pretty proud of this find. Yeah. This one is actually quite warm compared to the other 2 that I just wore. Of course, it is long sleeved, but you know, in the grand scheme of everything, since it's becoming so cinched to the body because of the pleating material, it could possibly make you feel a little bit claustrophobic. It's touching me in places that most of my other clothes don't, but for me personally, I don't find that to be an issue. I just can see how that could be something for someone else. Again, that is something to consider with like every single Issey Miyake piece. As you can see with the skirt, it kind of does that same contortion of the body, but that's their signature. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. That's okay. So this piece, love it. And I hope you guys too. So let's see the next one. Right, we're on to the final pieces. So this top and this skirt I bought at the Galleria store inside the Namba Mall in Kyoto. And this store was very difficult to find. I actually ended up wandering away from my brother and my family for maybe like 30 minutes. And when they were trying to find me, they were unable to find me. But just so you guys know, it's at the entrance that is near the Uniqlo. So if that helps anybody who's actually gonna go and shop, it's not that hard to find for me personally, but for some, maybe. But this store was very small, very curated, and the owner himself was a designer since he was 14. And unfortunately, because we had such a language barrier, I had a little bit of difficulty explaining things to him and asking questions, but from what I understand, he told me that he has designed for Vivienne Westwood, he's designed for Issey Miyake, he's designed for Jean-Paul Gaultier, and there was quite a few others, maybe Chanel and even Dior at some point. But he was incredibly kind and very patient with me. He let me try on so many items, and what I bought from him is actually, this is his collection. This is Galleria. So these sleeves are inspired by Frida Kahlo, and the skirt itself is, I think, supposed to mimic the traditional dress. I think it's the Folklorico dress, but I'm not entirely sure. And of course, this is one of my favorite pieces. If the flow is amazing. It is a 3-part piece. This skirt is actually the top layer. There's this silky underlayer so that this material can be lighter because it's see-through, actually. And this is basically your protection layer or your security shorts. And I also want to say that this store is a little bit more expensive than the other 2 were, because most of these pieces, especially like these pieces that he made, aren't vintage, so they weren't discounted. It was just a curated store. So if you are looking in particular for some nice pieces and you want someone who will help you find what fits you, what works, what doesn't, he's very great at that. And he also had an assistant who was very helpful for that too. I want to show you guys something else that I got from him that he helped me pick out. Okay, so I told him that I actually came in intentionally looking for shoes, and while he had some of the craziest shoes that I've ever seen, some like very, very nice and probably very sought out pieces, I was looking for something a little bit more daily wear, and I ended up getting these. And these are Jean Paul Gaultier. They've definitely been worn before, so this might be one of the few items where he resells them. And this is one that I do think that he discounted for me. I quite liked it. I think it was the wooden heel that drew my attention. But these are quite comfortable. I think he had multiple sizes in stock, but the majority of them were a little bit on the larger side, so anything about 7 and above, if that works for you guys, that's perfect. It's only about 2 inches tall, so that's what it does. It adds a little bit of height, and I think it matched this outfit perfectly, so ultimately that's kind of what made me choose to get it. I was in there for so long, but I had to get out, and I had to get out with my shoes and at least one outfit, so I think this was perfect. Alright, well with that, this is actually the end of my video. I did buy many more clothes, but the majority of them weren't from any particularly special stores. I went to Diesel at one point, and I went to the Tokyo Skytree. I bought a lot of clothes there. But if you guys are interested in that, I'll make a separate video because these were my my loved items. Like, these are the ones that I really loved when I came back from Japan. So yeah, I'll make you guys some more videos in the future, but thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed this, and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see anything else more like this. I've got other vintage items, just some of them are not quite as high-end as these, so if you want a video like that, let me know. Alright, bye guys! Thank you, and see you in the next video.